Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people.
We stand for justice. We stand for justice. We stand for justice.
Thousands of protesters rally in support of expelled Tennessee Representative Justin Jones, who was one of 2 representatives ousted from office this afternoon. Republicans accusing the Democrats of staging a mutiny. Republican lawmakers voted to expel Justin Jones and Justin Pearson for taking part in a gun control protest.
Ooh, what's going on, my fellow deplorables? Okay, so there's a protest at the Capitol, and the protesters get inside of the Capitol and they are screaming. But unlike January 6, 2021 at the U.S. State Capitol, this one was at the Tennessee Capitol, and I'm sure you guys have all seen the news. But there's one major differentiating factor here, and that's that in the Tennessee State Capitol, 3 state representatives tried to unlock doors and let these rioters in. Now, when this didn't work and they couldn't get past the police barricades, they took a megaphone to the floor of the State House and start disrupting proceedings. Now, that sounds like an insurrection to me. If it was Republicans doing it, probably would be labeled an insurrection. But because it was Democrats and liberals, woke liberals, doing this type of thing, now these 2 individuals who were expelled, Justin Pearson and Justin Jones, are being labeled the second coming of Martin Luther King.
Well, the resurrection that was promised last week came tonight at the state capitol in Tennessee.
They tried to kill hope and love, but resurrection is always guaranteed after persecution.
All right, listen to this guy's voice. Remember his voice. He wants to sound like a mixture of Malcolm X and MLK. They are telling us he is the second coming of MLK. They are telling us he is this heroic, woke, civil rights activist who is standing in the face of racism, who is standing in the face of tyranny, standing up to the racists. It's all a fraud. It's all fake. It's all phony. And we have video evidence. These 3 individuals saw the attention that the tragedy at the Nashville Covenant Christian School was garnering. 3 innocent kids lost their life because a transgender woke demon went into that school and took their lives. They did nothing wrong. They didn't have a drop of bad blood in their body. They were 9 years old. They did nothing wrong except get attacked by a transgender woke activist who had been told he, she, they, them was a victim. These liberal woke ideologues go to the Tennessee State Capitol to protest, to riot, to have their voice heard. I don't know if they went there to riot, but they went there to protest, and they should have the right to protest. I'm not disputing that, but it got out of hand. And these 3 elected officials saw the limelight. They saw the opportunity to steal the attention. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew what they were doing was going to cause a stir. It would be captured on camera, and it would garner them attention, and that it could possibly get them in trouble. And if their idiotic actions ended up getting them in trouble by a majority elected Republican House, it would just look like retribution. It would look like the racist Republicans were coming at me. So I had to stand up in the face of racism. Well, it's all phony. It's all fake. They are raising tons of money. They are raising millions of dollars off of this. They have been on every single talk show, liberal talk show, and they are being called heroes. But we have some video footage that proves that they are phonies. Let's take a look at what they had to say when they were on Good Morning America a couple days ago.
Now, the group known as the Tennessee Three.
The Tennessee Three, my ass. The Tennessee phonies.
State Representative Gloria Johnson and newly expelled state.
This lady here, Gloria Johnson, she was up to get expelled. There was going to be a vote on whether she should be expelled. She gives a speech begging for her job, begging, please don't expel me. She doesn't get expelled. I think she should have been expelled, but the reason she didn't get expelled was 2 members who voted in the previous votes to expel the other 2. They had appointments and they couldn't vote. So those 2 yes to expel votes were gone, leaving her with not enough votes to get expelled. But after the vote to expel her, 5 minutes earlier, she was begging for a job. She condemns the state house. So she is the type of person to say, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. And then when she doesn't get hit, she starts cussing at you again, right? You know, your kid acts up and then he's about to get a spanking. They start begging for their life. Don't give me a spanking. Don't give me a spanking. And then you don't give them a spanking. And 2 minutes later, they start acting up again. Well, similar situation here.
Representatives Justin J. Pearson and Justin Jones.
These are the phonies, fake voices. They are imitators. They are frauds.
Thank you so much for taking the time. We know it's a busy day and you have to get back for a vote. But Representative Pearson, when you took to the floor with the bullhorn, you say you knew it would be violating decorum rules, but did you have any idea that the backlash would be like this from your colleagues?
No, we had no idea that what we were doing would break a rule that could lead to our possible expulsion or our actual expulsions. What we were doing was listening to voters who said that we need to listen to the people who want to have gun safety laws. We need to stop the epidemic of gun violence, and we need to stop the proliferation of weapons in our communities in addition to schools. This was a tragedy that happened at the Covenant School in Nashville, but instead of addressing the tragedy, the Republican supermajority in Tennessee decided that using our First Amendment right to listen to the thousands of protesters deserved expulsion.
Representative Jones, when did you realize that you may actually lose your job over this?
I think the escalation that we saw was when the House Speaker Cameron Sexton went on national news and lied and compared this to January 6th insurrection. That was the escalation.
What's different? What's different between this and January 6th? The only difference is elected officials partook in it. That's the only difference. The only difference between J6 and this is J6, you had the U.S. Capitol Police unlock the doors and let those protesters in. Here, you had elected officials trying to open doors for the protesters.
And where we started hearing these calls for expulsion because he mischaracterized what we did at a protest to try and end gun violence with the violent events on January 6th.
So you brought a bullhorn to the floor.
Before Justin Pearson was expelled from the state capitol, he was given a chance to defend himself and listen to what he had to say. Listen to his voice in particular. Listen to his voice. Look at what he's wearing. Some type of traditional African undershirt there. He's got an afro. He is playing the part. Now listen to his voice.
Johnson serving in this house. That's the power of justice. There's been a refrain and a song going around in this movement. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Hosanna. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked advance against me to devour me, it is my enemies and foes who will stumble and fall.
All right, I'll spare your ears from any more of that nonsense, but we have some footage here of Mr. Pearson when he was in school running for student body president, and let's just say it doesn't sound anything similar to what he sounds like in this speech here.
I'm Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Bowdoin Democrats to the Bowdoin Republicans.
Obviously, that's a different kid. That's his real voice. That's what he looks like. Clean-cut hair, wearing a nice suit, and speaking normally. Running for student council president, saying he wants to unite Republicans and Democrats. But when the limelight was on him, when the cameras were rolling, when he knew that spotlight was on the Tennessee State House, he took his opportunity. And he turned into a mixture of MLK and Malcolm X. And it worked. He's back. He's going to be reelected. He's going to be reappointed. And he has raised over $500,000. U.S. Senator for Connecticut Chris Murphy has helped in the fundraising, and the Tennessee reps who were expelled have raised around $500,000. Complete joke, complete fraud, and a scam. He doesn't care about gun control. I honestly believe that. He saw an opportunity and he took it. This is a kid who's wanted to run for elected office his whole life. We know that because he did so in school. People who run for student body president or government, they have their eyes set on running for elected office. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with perpetrating a fraud, and that's exactly what this kid did. Let me know what you think about this situation. Did the state Republicans have the right to expel these three? I think they did. I think it was warranted. And is this kid Pearson a fraud? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Love you guys. Catch you in the next video. Until next time, peace.